So oftentimes if your EGR cooler goes bad, there's a lot of confusion as to whether or not it's just an EGR cooler or an EGR cooler and a head gasket, or if it's just your head gaskets. And because of the expense involved in replacing both and dealing with both, it's important to try to discern or tell which one you have and which one you don't. A lot of the confusion arises because when you have a bad EGR cooler, it has a lot of the same symptoms as a blown head gasket, and likewise vice versa. Those symptoms include a lot of white steam coming out of your tailpipe, bubbles in your cooling system, loss of coolant from your reservoir or degas bottle, and maybe even the overheating of your engine. So how can you tell which one you have? Is it EGR cooler, blown head gaskets, or both? Well, we have developed a simple little testing mechanism that you can use that doesn't give you an exact answer, but it can give you a general idea. It can kind of tell you which way the wind's blowing, if you know what I mean. What we can do, as you'll see, is we can connect the device here into the cooling system, and then we start up the truck, and we let it stabilize. We watch for the bubbles coming out of the degas bottle. As those bubbles come out, we take note of the size and the quantity of those bubbles, and kind of get an idea for how much air is coming out of the cooling system, how much pressure. Then what we can do is reach up here when we're comfortable with it. We can reach up here by the turbo. Be careful because things can be hot. We can disconnect that turbo harness there and from the turbo itself. What that forces the turbo to do is just to relax. That takes all the back pressure off of the back of the EGR cooler. So then we look and we watch the bubbles again. Now, if the bubbles go down, if they drop off significantly, if there's a big change in the bubbles when the turbo is disconnected, that means you most likely have a bad EGR cooler and only a bad EGR cooler. If the bubbles persist, if nothing really changes with the bubbles, that most likely indicates that you have a blown head gasket. If you see the bubbles are still pretty strong, but when you plug them back, the turbo back in again, the bubbles come back even livelier, that typically indicates you have a blown head gasket and an EGR cooler. So keep in mind, watch it, do the simple test. It's quick and easy, be safe, but it'll give you a good idea of what's wrong with your engine.